Ever wondered how LLMs or large language models actually work? Well, grab a stool, because today we're explaining AI using beer. When you type a prompt into an AI, something like write me a poem about ordering a beer, you're basically walking up to a bar and placing an order. You tell the bartender what you want, the bartender nods, and behind the scenes, the brewery kicks into action. Before any beer can be poured, the brewery needs ingredients. For LLMs, these ingredients are huge amounts of text. Books, articles, websites, conversations, code samples, you name it. The model doesn't memorize every sentence. Instead, it learns patterns, like a brewer learning which hops create which flavors. In the first stage of brewing, the grain gets crushed. In an LLM, this step is called tokenization. The model chops text into tiny pieces called tokens, words, subwords, and sometimes even punctuation. Just like crushed grain exposes more surface area, tokens make text easier for the model to work with. Next, each token gets turned into an embedding, a kind of flavor profile. Just like hops have characteristics that describe their taste, embeddings describe the meaning and relationships of words. The model learns that poems are creative pieces of text. To order, you need to go to the bar. Beer is made from hops. And IPA is what people order when they want to look knowledgeable. Now the brewer has to decide which ingredients actually influence the final flavor. In an LLM, this is the transformer's attention mechanism. It lets the model look at all the tokens at once and decide which ones matter most. It's the bartender paying attention to your drink order, not the emotional backstory you didn't need to share. Now the real brewing begins. In beer making, the mash tun mixes everything so flavors interact. In an LLM, the model mixes tokens, embeddings, and attention with everything it learned during training. It adjusts millions, sometimes billions of internal knobs called parameters. It's not learning facts, it's learning relationships. Which words tend to follow which, how sentences flow, what ideas connect, and that hold my beer rarely ends well. Back to the bar. Once the beer is brewed, it goes into kegs and gets hooked up to taps. That's your trained model, ready to serve. When you give it a prompt, it doesn't rebrew everything from scratch, it just pulls from what it already learned. Now the bartender starts pouring. For an LLM, this is the generation step. The model predicts the next word, then the next, then the next. Just like a smooth pour depends on pressure, angle, and glass shape, the model's pour depends on probability. It picks the most likely next token again and again until your response is done. But it's not random. The model assigns probabilities to every possible next token, like a brewer tasting and deciding which flavor notes are strongest. And this is why responses vary. The model doesn't know exactly how the sentence will end when it starts talking. A bit like that one drunk wedged in the corner at closing time, confidently beginning stories he absolutely cannot finish. And finally, your drink arrives. You ordered something, the system used its training to craft it, and now it's ready for you to enjoy, tweak, or send back for another round. So that's how LLMs work. You order, the model draws on its ingredients and brewing process, and it pours out the best response it can. Simple, right? Now go impress someone with your new beer-based AI wisdom. Cheers.